Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Grab your journal, a snack, and a drink, and let's journal together. It's finally spring, and I felt so inspired by the sage green stickers I'm using for this spread that I wanted to do a whole spread just using the colors from that sticker sheet. So you'll see my desk is very messy. But that's because I had been journaling a lot, and it's just easier when you can pull things from around your desk. So I'm taking out some of these frames and choosing some that either have green in them or a little bit of blue, like these stamp pieces, so that I can use them in the collage. It makes it easier when you're creating a spread to start with something that can ground the whole spread together or that you're building it around. I know some people don't like their spreads to be too matchy-matchy or have too much of one color, but I think that can be a really great strategy for creating a spread that looks really cohesive without having to think too much. If you're using a lot of things that have a similar color or a very limited color palette like this, then it can be easy to choose what to use and what not to use. I feel like it gets a lot more complicated once you start adding in a ton of other colors and things. I got this Jesslyn Padilla stamp from Paper Plus Cloth. I'd been eyeing her stamps for a while. I'm so glad that I picked this one up, and I decided to use it with my stamp papers that I got from Paper Game Co. a little while ago as well. Most of the things I'm using in this are either from Paper Plus Cloth or from Paper Game, my two favorite stores. And I picked out this one here that has lots of crisscrosses in it because I thought it'd be fun to tear the little pieces away. I'm using a piece of paper to lie down and create a background for myself. And I start picking out some other papers and things that I want to use. Like I was saying before, it's really easy to pick out things if they're all along a similar color scheme, and I just keep picking from my supplies until I have a good pile of things that I can narrow down and choose from. And I'm trying to decide if the greens in some of these papers match well enough with the stickers for me to use. Here is my drawer of stamps. I very slowly expand my stamp collection when I find something I really love, because you're going to be using stamps a lot. They're not like stickers. You use stamps until they're unusable or until you give them away. So I want to make sure that the ones I choose are ones I really love and will go back to, like this Freckles Tea set that I bought. I have little buckets and piles of things and drawers, and I really like this part of shopping around my stash and just picking out things that excite me and make me inspired, and it makes the rest of the spread go a little bit easier. I always go back to these Chenille Garden little washi papers because they're so versatile and there's so many to use. And I always probably use at least one in my spread every time. They're just such a staple for me. They were kind of expensive, so I'm glad I used them a lot. Back to the Freckles Tea box, I realized I wanted to use another bigger stamp that had some more flowers in it, so I grabbed that as well. And what I'm doing here is using two Versamagic ink pads. They're both chalk ink, so they don't bleed and they show up on both light and dark paper. And I decided I'm going to use a few different stamps to create some fun patterns on this postage stamp looking paper. I start with the lighter color in the background to give it a little bit more texture and make it not look so blank. And then I go in with the darker hint of pesto color ink and stamp the larger elements that I really want to show up a lot on the page. That's another way that you can use your stamps, is if you want to make a really nice background texture or a pattern of some kind, or even make your own patterned paper that then you can tear up and use as a background later. It's a great way to get more use out of your stamps than just using them one at a time. You could even layer a couple together if you have some that look really nice together. So that's some ways that I'm using to try to use these stamps more, because I really like them, but I tend to get so excited by the washi tape and stickers and everything else on my desk that I don't reach for them as often as I would like to. Tearing this off was so satisfying. I really love perforated paper when it tears apart really easily. The only thing was the ink wasn't fully dry, so it was getting on my fingers a little bit, which is okay. I'm kind of used to things getting messy, but they created these beautiful little pieces that have little elements from all of the stamps on them, and it brings a little bit more green to the spread too, which I really liked. Now I'm starting to arrange a bunch of different pieces and decide how I'm going to use everything. It looks like that I'm very decisive and this doesn't take me a long time, but a big part of creating these spreads is actually putting things down, seeing how I feel, picking them back up, moving them over slightly, readjusting, tearing a piece in half and putting it down in place of another one like I did here. So don't take my copious amount of edits in this video as indication for how fast it truly is to make one of these spreads. I'm not sure if people would be interested in a real-time journal with me video where I have minimal cuts so you can see how long it takes me. Usually my footage is around 35 to 45 minutes when I film one of these, so it would be a longer video, but if that's something that interests you, let me know, because I would be happy to make some of those videos as well. I really love using the tweezers to decide whether something like a sticker or washi tape would fit on the spread before committing to it. It makes it so easy. And the sticker book as well, I can pick up and put down stickers on the same sheet over and over without worrying about them not being sticky anymore. So that's really great for if you're really indecisive or you just love being able to rearrange things quickly like I do. It's been so helpful for me. I think I say that in every video, but it's true. I came back to this paper and added a couple more stamps to it to give it some more interest. I liked how it looked with a little bit, and I just wanted a little bit more to bring that texture and pattern sort of through the rest of the spread. I also got this tape runner from Dollarama, and it's actually worked pretty well. It's not perfect, but when the Tombow ones are so expensive and honestly so wasteful because they're just plastic, it's kind of nice to try out an alternative. Usually I'm a die-hard glue stick girl, but these do really come in handy sometimes, especially if I'm gluing down a lot of lightweight pieces that don't need a ton of glue from a glue stick, that's pretty easy to use instead of a glue stick. I also know the last few videos I've made have been me in my Leuchtturm, and I tend to do a collage on one side and write on the other. That just tends to be how I approach things. But I do want to get back into my TN soon as well and do some more journaling there. And I would love to record some videos of me making spreads in the swap journal as well. That currently lives in my TN as an insert. I don't know if it's something that is not as common, but I think people assume if you're not in a TN, you don't do collage-y type journaling like I do, or maybe it's just something I've noticed from comments, but I do this type of journaling almost in every journal that I have. But the A5 size is really nice for these bigger collages, especially with some of the pieces being so wide. So I tend to reach for this journal because of that. A lot of the things I'm using in this spread were from my recent paper game haul as well, so I've been really enjoying using all of those. Like almost everything here, I think the little washi tape stamp, the postage stamp perforated page, the ticket and the AM/PM long skinny page, the stamp blank, and the green torn paper as well are all from the Paper Game Co. haul. So if you're interested in seeing more of those things or what they look like when I unboxed it, then you can definitely check out that video. But I feel like I'll never need to buy anything again with the amount of things I bought there. Once I've got the first few layers down, I start deciding where I want to put these stickers, and I tried to just go for it so that I wouldn't get too in my head about where to use them or where the best spot would be. I just really love them. It was one of those love at first sight things when I saw them at Paper Plus Cloth, so I was really excited to make a spread around them. I decided to use the navy background sticker in the middle of the stamp blank because I felt like it would really stand out, and it was the only navy thing in the spread too, so I felt like it just really popped. But everything else with the sage green and the white and cream and a little bit of gray and black, I was just so happy with how the spread was coming together. And if you know me, you know that I just can't stop and I just keep adding and adding things until I feel like all the space has been taken up appropriately. I also really like looking at how the colors are balanced throughout, especially with such a limited color palette. So I knew I wanted to make sure there was a good balance of green and a little bit of blue that was standing out from the page, since everything else was pretty monochromatic, you know, with the grays and creams and white. Also, you have to add in those gold elements. I mean, what more can I say? I just love me some gold. It's hard to see, but the stickers from the sticker sheet also have a little bit of gold foiling in them as well, but it's very, very little details. So I really like that. I found this perfect little sticker from one of the pet tapes I bought from the paper game haul to add in a little bit more green on the left side. At this point, I felt like it was in a really good position. I really loved how it turned out. And then a little bit later, I realized that I couldn't just leave the left side blank. And I still had quite a few stickers left. I used about half of them, just under half of them. And I felt like I could use more of them. So I decided to make a little corner collage on the left side to match what was going on the right and still leave me some room to write, of course. So I took the other half of that green paper that I tore, and I was looking at how I could use those white stickers with the swans and the little flower in them because I really like those. And I feel like the same sticker in the collage on the right didn't really pop the way that I wanted it to. So back to the frame. I was so excited to use this. I think it's so cute. Goodbye to that little tag frame and hello to this one that opens up, which is so cool. I felt like the green background was exactly what it needed to make the white really stand out, and I like that it has the little door open. So cute. It does add a lot of bulk, I will say, because the cardstock it's made out of is pretty thick on its own, and then when you fold it over, of course, it's double as thick, so that page ends up being really, really thick. So I probably won't use it a ton in the same journal, or at least in the same spot in the journal. But I just made this little collage. I don't even know if you can call it a collage because it's really just one piece of paper and 2 stickers. But I love how it looked with the little frame around it. I thought that was so cute. So I did bring out the glue stick for that one. I wanted to make sure that it would stay. With thicker cardstock like that, you really have to push it down and make sure that it's going to stick, and a tape runner is just not going to do that for me. I've tried, but it doesn't work like that. I also picked another little corner of that perforated paper, postage stamp type paper that I had torn up before to add that element, and stamping the daydreaming stamp along the bottom because it fit perfectly and the color was really cute, and I just thought it was great. Then of course can't waste the ink, so I had to stamp it on the right as well. I love how this spread turned out. I love the sage green. It's perfect for spring, and this is how it turned out. Thank you so much for journaling with me. I will see you in the next one.